Now, our matriculation books go from 1805 to 1971, I think is when the last matriculation books, the actual handwriting books were done. The very first one is here. It's extraordinary because it has this actual signature of the student. The earlier ones are a little more abbreviated, but then as we move into particularly the 1940s and 50s, the information that's on here is the signature of the student, the name of the parent or guardian, the address, and the date of entrance. So yesterday we had at least 4 couples in, all of them, I think, from the class of 51 or 52 maybe, and they had heard that we had these matriculation books, and of course and they're random. The students sign these books as they come in, and so you have to go through the entire year to find your signature. So it's a bit of a fun sort of search, and so they're hanging over my shoulder, and all of a sudden they see their signature and they go, "Oh my gosh, look at my handwriting, it was so good." Or sometimes they get even a little bit emotional about it. And oftentimes when we have people coming in who say, "My grandfather went to school or graduated from Washington Lee in such and such a period," and we are able to produce a signature. And so it's very poignant, because oftentimes you'll see a grandchild who may run their finger across the signature, much like we see happening at memorials like the Vietnam Memorial, where the name actually brings back the memory of the person, and it can get emotional for some people. Washington Lee has produced many, many, many luminaries in various fields, and so it's really interesting to sit down and say, okay, I wonder if so-and-so signed this book. And so I did that yesterday. And of course, I went to the 1947-48 year in search of one of the most famous of Washington Lee's alums, who is certainly most famous in the literary world. It's Tom Wolfe. And I actually did find Thomas Kennerly Wolfe Jr., who was 17. He was number 288 to sign in 1947. He lists his father as being Dr. T.K. Wolfe, Dr. Thomas Kennerly Wolfe, Richmond, Virginia, and he signed this on September 17th, 1947. When we talk about how we go through matriculation today, and having just come through a week with 5 freshman advisees, and realizing how panicked my students were, and how panicked I was, and how stressed out I was, trying to make sure that they were all getting the classes they wanted, it's kind of interesting to reflect back on, I think, maybe a slightly quieter, calmer time when all you really needed to do was come in, sign the matriculation book, pay your bill, and move into the dormitory.